Hi there, I'm Rebecca Libby. Welcome to Zenith Workouts. Today we're going to try to fit in a quick new mummy workout. Maybe try to keep it to 20 minutes. And yeah, we're into our recovery by now. Maybe around 10, 12 weeks. We want to get moving, but we still have some attention to pay. Attention to detail in restoring our abdominal and pelvic floor muscles, as well as strengthening the pelvis stabilizers and stuff like that. So let's start with our feet in parallel and looking down. Sometimes we lose our sense of where we are in space after all the changes that have gone on in our pregnancy and labor and delivery. So sometimes just looking and saying, oh yeah, actually no, one foot is turned out. So have a glance. Try to spread the toes. And I want you to take a moment first to sway your weight into your right leg, and then through the center into the left leg. And I just want you to compare sides. How does each side receive that weight? Does this feel good? Symmetrical? Maybe not. That's okay. You're just noting it. And then I want you to decrease that sway and settle into a point where you have even weight right to left. Good. And I want you to bring some weight into the balls of your feet, and then weight back into your heels. Right? So weight into the balls of the feet, and then weight back into the heels. All right? And then I'd like you to drop nice and tall in your spine, open across your collarbones. We think of sometimes picking up an imaginary golf ball behind the armpit, at the back of the armpit, and holding it there, and that will help you open across the chest and activate those arms and upper back muscles instead of, all of our rounded activities that we're doing these days. And then make sure the head is not forward, but is in line with the rest of the spine. Take a nice breath in, and all you're going to do is raise all your toes. You're going to see if you can spread the toes and then pad them back down. So toes only, and pad them down. And sometimes that's harder than it seems, right? We raise the toes and we want to sway back with the hips or with the whole spine. So be strong in your front body. You can lift the pelvic floor. You can draw in with the abdominals a bit. You'll be a little active in your hips as you raise all those toes. You try to spread them and then pad them back down. Happy feet. One more nice one with the toes. Raising all the toes, spread them, and pad them back down. Take a nice breath in, keep this beautiful alignment, and you're going to raise up onto the balls of the feet and then lower the heels. When you lower the heels, you're going to bend the knees and you're going to get into your ankles. You're going to keep the pelvis right under the rib cage, right under the head and neck though. Straightening the knees, coming onto the balls of the feet. Lower the heels, bend the knees. So as you exhale, up onto the balls of the feet, you're drawing the upper thighs together. Good. Bend the knees, straighten. You're thinking of narrowing as you exhale, and as you inhale, you're thinking about getting into those ankles. It'll probably be the ankles that keep you from going lower. Could be your knees if you have some knee issues. And for an additional challenge here, if you're good with this, you can stay here or come onto the balls of the feet. You don't have to be high, just hover those heels. Draw the upper thighs together. Think of being strong in the abdominals, and we're going to bend the knees and straighten them. Bend the knees and straighten them. Bend the knees and straighten them. Bend the knees, straighten and sink the heels. Good. Excellent. Take a nice breath in. We're going to move from here into a squat where you sit back with the hips. So breath in. Just sit as if you have a chair behind you, and then you actually realize you don't have a chair and you're going to come up. But we're going to add a little chest opening here. So you're going to really reach the arms behind you as you come up. Breathe in, sit back in your chair. Exhale to come up. Inhale to sit back, and exhale to come up. And what you're looking to do here is keep your beautiful neutral spine, right? So that you're active in your abdominals and your pelvic floor. Breathe in to sit back, and before you come up, think pelvic floor lift. Think of lightly drawing in the abdominals to support that movement as you rise up. Good. Then we're going to hold this one down. You're going to shift your weight into your left leg and nothing else moves. You can even put your hands on your hips if you want to monitor. You're going to reach back with the right leg. All the weight is in that left leg, the knees over the foot, it's not beyond. And your goal is to stay still in the leg that's supporting you and the upper body as you bring the back leg in and reach it back. Now you can tap the toe for balance, or if you're feeling like a superstar, you can float the leg. It reaches back and it pulls in. That's much harder for the balance, but definitely great for finding your center again and getting that core activation. We got 2 and 1, and then release that leg, sit it down, back into your squat, press into your right leg, reach back with the left leg, take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, that leg comes forward and reaches back, forward and reaches back. Don't hesitate to tap the toe in order to have good form. If you're trying to float the leg, but you're wobbling all over the place, that might not be good. You might get more out of it doing the easier version, right? So be be forgiving of yourself and a good judge, and do what makes sense today. Good, we've got 3 more. 2, 1, and place that leg down, back into your squat. Sink a little deeper, and we're going to pulse it here, and you're only going to pulse it as fast as you can do your pelvic floor lift. So nice breath in, and when you breathe out, you're lifting the pelvic floor, you're squeezing the bum, and you're lifting a bit in your squat and sitting back down. So you've got pelvic floor, pelvic floor, pelvic floor, pelvic floor. Get tired of hearing those words, eh? Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. You're breathing. We're going to do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it up and shake it out. Good. From here, we're moving down to our mat. I like to do a roll down, but if you're having some back pain, maybe not ready for that, then you don't have to. But we're going to come down onto all 4s on the mat. So take a nice breath in if you want to join me for the roll down, or otherwise just come to hands and knees. Nice breath in. Actually, I'm going to go to the other side. Nice breath in. Out breath to nod the chin. And to roll it down 1 bone to the back at a time. And you can soften the knees, you can put the hands on the thighs, it's whatever feels good. But I love this articulation of the spine. It is something sometimes that you have to have the movement to do, though. So if it doesn't feel right for you, that's okay. Here, if you need to bend your knees, go ahead, but put your hands on the mat and walk out. Beautiful to be on hands and knees. Good. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder blade movement to warm up. So spread the fingers, get the thumbs out to the side. The elbows are straight but not locked. The knees are right under the hips. And you're going to take a beautiful breath in. And as you do, you're going to leave your spine nice and flat and neutral. You're going to press the chest away from the mat by widening the shoulder blades. And as you breathe out, you're drawing the shoulder blades back and in towards the spine. Breath in and breath out. So it's a small movement. I try to make it look big so that you can see what I'm doing. I also do demonstrate this quite a bit in our live classes. So it might be very small, but what you'd like the head and the spine to stay in good alignment, no movement, as you do this beautiful big movement with the shoulder blades. Good. And then you're going to hold this one sort of 3/4 of the way pressed up. Right, so you're wide across your chest, you're wide in between your shoulder blades. Good. Take a nice breath in, and without letting anything move, like your spine, you're going to reach back with the right leg, lift it up, and lower it down. Nice breath in. Draw in with the abdominals, lift the pelvic floor, reach that leg back, right? So that your spine stays nice and still. Okay. And I'm going to give you some options here. If you have trouble knowing where you are in space, then you could put like a small ball on your back, or like a grapefruit or an orange, something to give you feedback about where you are. The other option is that if you're feeling good, if you're feeling like you have a good abdominal pelvic floor connection, there's no bulging of the abdominals, then as you raise the leg, you can also raise the opposite arm. Definitely more challenging and really nice for the shoulders, right? But if it's too much, if you really feel like you're, swaying side to side, or you're twisting, or you feel a strain on the abdominals, then you don't have to add this in, right? Depends where you are in your recovery. Good. But whichever version you're doing, the right leg is back now. If you have the opposite arm up, great, but you don't need to. Take a nice breath in. We're going to do a little repeater. I want you to lift that back leg and put it back down. Lift the back leg and put it back down. Nothing else moves. When you raise the back leg, I want you to lift your pelvic floor and I want you to draw in with your abdominals, right? And we're going to do 8 more. 8. Pelvic floor lift. Abdominals draw in. Not the upper abs. You're not sucking in with this weird breath. You're feeling the strength start low above the pubic bone. And if you need to slow it down to make that connection, then go ahead. Now I've lost count. Let's say we've done 8. Hold this one up. Good. Take a nice breath in. If you have the arm up, put it back down on the mat because we're going to do 8 push-ups. You're wide across your chest. You've got the leg up. You're going to bend the elbows for 1, for 2, for 3, for 4, for 5. You have wide chest, wide shoulder blades. Keep the head in line with the rest of the spine. Is that 8? 1 more, just in case. Good. Release that leg. Rock it back into a little rest position. You don't have to linger there, but it's just more to give your wrists a break if you're not used to weight bearing through the wrists or if you're having any troubles with the wrists or carpal tunnel after your pregnancy. Wide hands, straight fingers. If you need to, you can always come to the knuckles. You can vary it. Or you can put more cushioning under the wrists. Take a nice breath in, reach back with the left leg. We're going to do that same repeater. So either the leg is just doing the movement, or you can also have the opposite arm up, but it's a repeater. So that left leg lifts and lowers. Lifts and lowers. When you lift the leg, you're drawing in with the abdominals so that it's not a movement like this from the back, right? You're not having big spine movement. You're having no spine movement. You're feeling the bum muscles work. You get that pelvic floor lift. And we do 8 more. Keep the chest strong and wide. The breastbone pressed away from the mat. The shoulder blades wide. The head and neck in extension. Or not an extension, but as an extension of the rest of the spine. Yahoo! Good. Beautiful. Hold this one up. Awesome. We're going to do our push-ups. We're going to do 8. So bend the elbows. I'm going to walk my hands a little more forward. Bend the elbows and press back up. And you don't have to go deep here. What I'd like you to do is not collapse as you bend the elbows, right? Is to keep that wide chest. The leg raises as your upper body lowers to keep that nice straight line. So you should be feeling it in your glute, your booty as well. Good. How many have we done? Totally lost count. Let's do 1 more. Beautiful. And lower the leg. This time rock it back into a proper shell stretch or child's pose, where if you want to let the knees get a little wider, you can. If you need the hands under the forehead, you can have them there, or put the forehead on the mat, wrap the hands around by the feet. And just enjoy taking some nice breaths into your low back. Try to feel some length there. This is an active exercise. It's not just a rest pose. So when you're breathing in, it's like you're trying to make a little tunnel between your belly and your thighs. You're trying to round your spine more. And as you breathe out, you settle a little deeper into your stretch. Beautiful. On your next breath out, if you need the hands for support, you can use them. You're going to roll up 1 bone of the back at a time to be in a beautiful kneeling position. Good. Then you're coming onto your back from here. So Lowering down. Instead, unless you have incredible abdominal strength already and no separation, instead of rolling back like this, come on your side. Pretend you're still pregnant. Protect the abdominals. Come down on your side. Roll onto your back, right? There's no harm in that. When you have the abdominal strength, you'll start to move more naturally. So let's come on to, have the knees bent, the feet grounded to the mat, those toes relaxed. We're going to find our neutral pelvis, which just means you have the hip pointers and that pubic bone. Nice horizontal line. I want you to put the hands on the low belly. And we're going to take a nice breath in. This is our core breath. As you breathe out, I want you to think of that pelvic floor lift. So you're thinking of gently stopping your pee, or you're thinking of lifting that blueberry up, 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 up inside the vagina, but not smashing the berry. That's key. You got to have that pelvic floor lift. Good. Now we're going to add movement. So take a nice breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to bring the right leg up to tabletop, but nothing moves. So you've got the pelvic floor on, the low belly drawn in. Leg comes up to tabletop, put it back down. Same side, up to tabletop, and lower back down, right? If you have a hand on your belly, when you lift the leg, you shouldn't have, the abdominals bulge or any shift in the spine. It really should be that feeling of the low belly. It draws back just a little bit. There's a little bit of tension that develops there. But really, you have to feel the strength in the pelvic floor, no matter how your baby was born, vaginal birth or belly birth. You want the strength to start low, pelvic floor, low abdominals, and then we'll work the upper abdominals, right? Let's change legs. And lower back down. So a little repeater here. I'm going to give you, again, lots of options for the next one, because it is to work our larger abdominals and keep that spinal stability, but of course a focus on restoring our core, so pelvic floor and deep abs. Take a nice breath in, make sure the rib cage is on the mat, the shoulder blades are nice and wide, and you're going to bring the arms overhead, and you're going to bring them not back to touch the floor, even if you can, but you're going to bring them back as far as you can without letting the ribs pop up and having space behind that rib cage. And if you can get all the way back to the mat, then just hover them, right? Because you want to be active in your arms. You want to be reaching the fingers out this way, away from your feet. Take a nice breath in. That pelvis is in neutral. You're already maybe using a little bit of abdominals. That's nice. And you have a choice of either just doing the steps, the single leg to tabletop, lower it down, change sides, focusing on each time, pre-activating, getting that pelvic floor on, the deep belly drawing in, nothing moves. It's way harder than it looks, eh? But if you are, if you've been working on this quite a bit, you're feeling good, then leave one leg up in tabletop, and let's bring the second one up to meet it. Right? And from there, we'll lower the legs, right? So one at a time though. Nice breath in, and you'll work to lower one leg, probably not tapping the toe on the floor just yet, really making sure that there's no bulging of the abdominals, that the low back is not getting more space behind it or flattening to the mat. It's just in neutral and coming back up, right? And this is quite intense ab work, right? So don't hesitate to just do the single leg lifts rather than the toe taps, right? Exhale, pelvic floor, deep belly draws back, leg lowers, just what you can control, right? Later on, you can get into leg changes, but only when you're totally solid and confident that there's no movement in the back, that the abdominals stay nice and lightly contracted. And there's certainly no discomfort, right? That's why this is a later class, right? Whatever version you're doing one more each leg. Boom, beautiful. Legs either in tabletop, if you have them there, or they're already on the mat, lowering one at a time, and lowering the arms to the mat. Yeah, good. Perfect. From here, we're going to do a little bit of a chest lift. So take the arms behind the head. And I'm going to go and make the legs a little wider. I'm going to go into a little bit of a diamond shape here because it helps me feel the pelvic floor. So you're still in your neutral pelvis, legs in the diamond or just bent knees. Take a nice breath in. Lift the pelvic floor. Draw in with the deep abs. Nod the chin a little bit. And then you're lifting the head and the neck and a little bit of the chest, but only as far as you can keep that neutral pelvis. No bulging of the abdominals, just a nice feeling of comfort and toning. And then release it down. Nice breath in to do it all again. Exhale, pelvic floor lift. Hold that pelvic floor contraction the whole time you lift. Release as you lower. Exhale, and you don't have to come high, right? Just hovering the head and the neck and a little bit of the upper back is good, especially if you do have some separation. If you have a bit of diastasis, then as you come up, you want to make sure that you don't have any tenting or bulging, right? Just that nice flatness in the abdominals. And by flatness, I don't mean like, washboard abs, but just that it's not growing and getting bigger. The abs are drawing back, if anything, and staying flat and staying a little bit contracted, right? If you have a big diastasis, you might just be practicing, nodding the chin and hovering the head at first. Whichever version you're doing, whether you're able to curl up, or whether you're just hovering, that's fine. We're just going to do 2 more. Good. On your last one, we're going to hold it. So you're either hovering the head or you've curled up as far as you can without shifting in the pelvis and keeping the abdominals flat. And then we're going to close the knees and open them. Close the knees and open them. Close the knees and open them. Beautiful. Last one. So there's no movement of the pelvis, but you're getting some good ab work there, right? And then release it down. Beautiful. We're going to come on to our sides from here, do a little bit of hip work, and wrap it up. Good. So we're going to start with our clamshell, and you have options here. I'm going to stay up on my arm, supporting my head, but you can always lay down on the outstretched arm, or you can have a little pillow here if your shoulder doesn't like to be like that. Regardless, focusing on the low body, the pelvis is stacked. Think of taking your top hip and dropping it away from you. So put your hand on the bony pelvis. Instead of being here with no space between waist and mat, take that side of the pelvis and try to lengthen it. Try to tip it down that way so that you think about having a little space between waist and mat and holding it there. You'll already be working in the abdominals. The feet are together. Basic clam is just to raise the knee and lower it back down, right? Without letting the pelvis roll back, right? Assuming that you're already there, that you can do that one, let's float the feet. So the feet stay still in the air. And we're going to do clamshell and then broken clam. So you raise the knee and then you lift, you separate the feet a little, lower and close. So it's open, break, lower, close. Open, break, lower, close. You're not getting crunchy in the top waist. So you're trying to keep that idea of length, right? And you should feel it in the hip. It's good. Great one for pelvis stability and also a natural pelvic floor exercise. If you need the top hand on the mat for a little bit of balance, that's fine. But your big goal is not to roll back with the pelvis. How are we doing? Can we do a few more? Yes. Right? Of course. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, and lower it down. Good. From here, we're going to straighten out. Good. So that those legs are in a nice long line. The pelvis is still stacked. You're still with the thought of dropping that hip, right? Having some space between waist and mat. Let's lower down to be on that bottom arm for this one. Again, fingers can be on the mat, or you can put them on the top pelvis. Toes are gently pointed. Raise the top leg. Flex it down. Point and raise, and flex it down. Point and raise, and flex it down. You should really be in this one with me, Kai. Do you want to get in the camera? He's been doing this class with me for the last probably 10 minutes, so here we are, if he's not too distracting. No, don't be right in front of me. So straight up, straight down with the leg. Then we're going to do leg circles. Kai's got good form here. So you want to turn and face the camera, though? So top leg hovers. Everything stays still except that top leg. It's going to circle. And that's hard. So circle. Make that top leg circle. Yes, very good. If you need the top arm on the mat for a little balance, sure, but what you're looking to do is stay still in the pelvis. One more circle in this direction, and then we'll reverse it. And we'll do circles the other way. In this circle, I want you to think of lengthening the leg, of reaching the toes towards the bottom of your mat or towards the wall away from you. Good. Awesome. Perfect. Hold this one up. Bring that leg behind you a little bit. We're going to come up to be on that bottom elbow, right? If you can. You can stay down if you're not happy with this. Looking good, Kai. Roll forward a little bit. So you're sort of shining your tummy button towards the floor, and we're going to lift that back leg for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Beautiful. And relax it down. Good. Come to side kneeling. Take that top leg that you just worked, cross it over the bottom one, give a beautiful stretch in. Looking good. Just lengthening where you just worked, and then we'll do the other side. And I realize this was longer than 20 minutes. We're going to do the other side so that everybody's got even muscles on each side. Good. Let's go and stretch out on the other side for our clamshell. So I'm going to be propped up on my bottom elbow. You can be laying flat, or you can prop up with me, but take that top hip, good, and tip it away from you, right? So you're not crunchy here. Boom. Feet are either on the mat doing your basic clamshell, or you're floating the feet, and we're going to do the clamshell broken clam. So you lift the top knee, then you break your clam, close the feet, close the knees. So we lift, break, lower, close. Lift, break, lower, close. The pelvis doesn't roll back. You're lightly drawn in with the lower abdominals. Lift, break, lower, close. Open, break, lower, close. How many did we do on the other side? Did you count?
No.
Oh, yeah, there. Let's do 3 more. We did a lot on the other side. So lift, break, lower, close, lift, break, lower, close. Last one, lift, break, lower, close it up. Beautiful. Straighten it out. So you're in a nice long line. You can lower down onto that bottom arm if you want with the head. Good. And we're going to raise the top leg and flex it down. Top leg and flex it down. And the things that we do to cheat on this one are we roll back with our top. So we can use our strong front body instead of our glutes, which are usually a little bit weak. The other cheat that we do is as we raise the leg, instead of staying over the bottom one, is the leg moves forward. So try to keep, make sure the heels connect each time when you lower that leg. That's the point of flexing the ankle and connecting the heels, is that you know that you've kept, hopefully, the leg right above the other one the whole time. Good. Let's do 2 more, then we'll do our circles. 1 more. Perfect. And hold this one up. And we circle. So nice circles where the waist isn't moving. If your hips are not very flexible, the circle will be small, even if you have good core control, right? You do. And let's circle the other way. That's because you haven't had a baby. Or many, many years of life and injuries. Good. One more circle this way. Beautiful. And then pause with that leg just hovering about parallel to the floor. You're going to come up onto the bottom elbow. Right? And the top hand is on the mat just for a little bit of balance. Roll it forward a bit. So you're shining your tummy button down towards the mat. And we're going to lift that back leg for 8, for 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. And it's beautiful. Lower it down. Bend the knees. Come up into your side sitting and we'll do our stretch. And the end. So that top leg crosses over the bottom one if possible. If not, you can just put it wherever you can reach to. And you're trying to get both sit bones on the mat and then gently hugging that knee in towards your chest. But it's nice to lengthen where you just worked. Very good, buddy. Yeah. Does it feel like a good stretch? Oh, is it too much? It's not supposed to hurt. Don't force it, okay? It's supposed to be nice and gentle. I like to rock too. When I stretch, I don't really like to stay still too much. I'll usually, roll a little bit and breathe and ease out of it and into it. And so just whatever feels good to you. But there we are. Release that leg. I'm going to come up to standing, the reverse of how we got down, sort of a roll up. If you'd like to join me, come on to hands and knees. Tuck the toes underneath. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Roll onto the feet, and then drawing in with the abdominals, lifting the pelvic floor, gently straightening the knees. You're going to roll it up one bone of the back at a time. Coming to stand, take the arms overhead, out into your beautiful cactus position, and then just open the chest. There we go. I don't know if they're ready for that yet. That's maybe next video, more advanced. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Sorry that ended up being way longer than planned. I'll try to do a short one and get it up on the website soon. Anyway, hope hope my helper wasn't too distracting. Mwah. Thank you. Bye.